Kingdom TV is making TV watchable again. Join us on the Active Kingdom Entertainment Network. Download Taken TV from your App Store now.
Over the last 20 years, with all your support, we've been able to not only launch the original MyPillow, but also the MyPillow mattress topper, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Slippers, and the MyPillow bath towels. But there's so much more. In fact, we have over 200 products, and I'm so confident that you'll love each and every one of them that when you go to MyPillow.com now, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20 just for checking out the website. No purchase necessary. Get everything from MyPillow blankets, sleepwear, kitchen towels, mattresses, duvets, pet beds, body pillows, comforters, couch pillows, bathrobes, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And remember, just for checking out MyPillow.com, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20. No purchase necessary. This is a limited time promotion, so go to MyPillow.com now.
Lindell TV is pleased to present the Sentinel Report with your host, Alex Newman. Alex has written for a wide array of publications in the United States and abroad. He currently serves as a contributor to Epoch Times and foreign correspondent and senior editor for the New American magazine. Alex is the author of several books and has been a guest on countless radio and television programs and is a much sought-after conference speaker. Alex is best known for his reporting and research that has exposed the dangers and agenda of globalism. As the father of 5 children, Alex is working to defend faith, family, and freedoms from the hostile philosophies and ideas that are contrary to the Bible and the United States Constitution. And now, here is your host, Alex Newman.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sentinel Report. I am your guest host for today, Andrew Muller, sitting in for Alex Newman. I serve as the Chief of Operations for Liberty Sentinel, Alex Newman's media company. So excited to be with you here today. Alex sends his best wishes. He is traveling out on assignment today in South Carolina, the great People's Republic of South Carolina in Myrtle Beach, giving a speech on the deep state, talking about all the horrible things that are going on in our country, but offering an amazing message of hope, redemption, and an antidote to the chaos and the madness that we face in our country that can be found in Christ. So Alex sends his best. He will be back with us tomorrow. But for now, you have me. So glad you tuned in. We have a great program today. We're going to talk about some headlines. We have a special guest we're going to get to. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. But I want to continue in the tradition that Alex has laid out, where we go through a scripture at the beginning of every episode. There's no better tone to set for a program or a discussion rather than the scripture. So today's verse comes from Amos chapter 5, verses 14 through 15, which says, "Seek good and not evil, that you may live. And so the Lord, the God of hosts, will be with you, as you have said. Hate evil and love good, and establish justice in the gate," or some translations say courts. "It may be that the Lord, the God of hosts, will be gracious to the remnant of Joseph." Friends, it is time, high time in America for us to be educated and understand the times, but more importantly, as a part of that, to be educated on the scripture, to have a biblical Christian worldview, which is essential to understanding the times. And that is understanding God's law, meditating on his word day and night. That is how we become more like Christ. That is how we seek good and not evil. Anything other than the Lord and his will is a contraption of man's heart, and the heart is desperately wicked. So we need to seek good, not evil. We need to hate evil, love good, and we need to reprove evil. We need to push back against evil with the only absolute good that there is, and that is Christ's word. I'm going to jump right into our guest. We have a fantastic one today. He's going to discuss some of the news with me. We're going to have a back and forth banter and a discussion. It's Ryan Haidt. Ryan Haidt is the Director of Communications for Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. He's also a personal friend of mine. I've known Ryan for many years. And the fun thing is Ryan has a program that he does for Phyllis Schlafly Eagles called Unauthorized Caucus, which airs every Thursday. And I'm sure Ryan can tell you about that. and we'll talk about it. But I used to guest host Unauthorized Caucus with Ryan, so we're going to get to resurrect some of the good days that we spent bantering the news today. But Ryan is the Director of Communications for Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. He was hired by Phyllis in 2013 and worked closely with her for several years. Phyllis was such a fantastic woman, if you're not familiar with her, just an absolute gladiator of conservatism and grassroots action in America, stopping the Equal Rights Amendment, ERA, doing so many things for God and country. Lord used her so significantly. Ryan served as a research assistant for Phyllis, a copy editor on her 3 final books, a personal assistant on her writing projects and publications, and a writer and editor for her 3-minute daily radio commentaries. Ryan attended the Republican National Convention in 2016 with Phyllis. That was a big one because you remember Trump being there. Phyllis was one of the first to come out and support Trump, and her wisdom, she knew that this was the guy we needed. Ryan has assisted with running media and ground operations for Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, and he fulfills many, many roles there, and he joins us today. Ryan, welcome to the Sentinel Report.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here, Andrew, and I'm glad to be talking to you.
Excellent. Well, I gave a little teaser for Unauthorized Caucus and talked about my involvement in that. Tell the folks a little bit about Unauthorized Caucus, what you do, because it's very similar to what we're going to be doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Unauthorized Caucus is one of the, many different promotional pieces of media that we do here. There's a lot of publications, both digital and written. So Unauthorized Caucus, we have a live stream every Thursday at noon. Keep it to just once a week, but it's really fun because you get to the internet style of broadcasting, and it's no holds barred. The timing can be whatever it needs to be. You can move along. There's no ad breaks that are set at certain times, like the old air clocks. So it's really nice. It affords us the opportunity to either be able to talk about some news and go behind the headlines and kind of give people some insight from the inside what's happening, or you can really just dive into an incredibly important topic that conservatives need to understand. So that's what we do. And Andrew, I'm grateful for you doing that with me, guest hosting so much these last few months. We've been able to give conservatives a launch point for what they need to talk about amongst themselves, the conversations, the principles, the ideas that we need to be working out so that we can take it, replicate ourselves out in society, get people to understand the truth and come alongside us, and then also at the end of the day, get them to vote the right way and turn this country in the right direction every time we, the people, have the opportunity for a say-so. So that's what Unauthorized Caucus is about. We've got a lot of other things which we can go into as well. I'd love to let people know about it because just like you all here on the Liberty Sentinel Report, there's just so much to talk about, so many things that we as conservatives, as Christians, need to understand as American citizens. It's an incredible power we have, and there's an incredible bar of knowledge that we should shoot for, that we should get up to exercise that power well.
Absolutely. It's a never-ending process. I mentioned Phyllis, and I think we'd be in a bad place if we didn't mention Phyllis having you here. We're in a time where we need heroes. We need heroes. We need examples. We need a proven path of success and victory as conservatives, but more importantly, Christians that want to be the conscience of our nation. Christians that have a biblical worldview, that understand the times. We want to do something about what we believe. We want to bring that about into culture, to change culture for Christ. That's ultimately the thing we want to do. Phyllis believed that in this era of feminism and the Barbie movie and the patriarchy, and people are talking about all this, and it's a cultural conversation. I think Phyllis gets more and more relevant. Tell people just in a nutshell, who was Phyllis Schlafly? What did she do? And plug the organization.
So, thank you for the opportunity. I cut myself off there, but we love talking about where we came from because that's the whole point here. We are an archives. We are a records keeping center for Phyllis Schlafly, which I would describe her in a single sentence, a single phrase as, I guess, the matriarch of the modern conservative movement. Phyllis Schlafly really was, I love your phrase, a gladiator for conservative causes, but she understood. She was a woman of strong faith. A family woman first, but she understood the God-given gift of liberty that we have, but the responsibility as citizens that we have to maintain it, to understand what's happening, to understand the times, to steal a phrase from your open, and to then go and take that into culture, into politics, and make sure that we're injecting the leadership needed to keep us on track. to maintain this great Christian heritage. So Phyllis Schlafly was really active in American politics, even as far back as the 1950s and 60s. She started her career as a writer with the American Enterprise Institute. That, of course, is when she was writing there and writing in the local paper, that's what attracted the attention of her then future husband, Fred Schlafly. This was Phyllis Stewart at the time, and they met and began a wonderful romance and 40 plus years of marriage, 6 kids. But during that, she stayed plugged in. And throughout the 1950s, she talked a lot about anti-communism, the need for military superiority and national defense. In the 60s, it moved into being an anti-establishment voice against what she called the kingmakers, the establishment, the deep state. You fill in the blank. The powerful people, the power brokers that want to pick and choose in politics instead of let the electoral process play out. And then, of course, in the 1970s, the Equal Rights Amendment raised its ugly head, and she took off and became the premier anti-feminist. And from there, she's gone over the Constitution, immigration, so many important issues, and really has been able to define those issues for us as modern conservatives, being a part of that beginning of the moral majority, as we saw in the 80s, bringing Reagan into office. It's an incredible legacy across so many different issues, and we get to continue to use her thoughts today and plug them into what we're dealing with, because even though the face and the names and the dates and everything change, the principles behind it all don't. The principles of liberty, of slavery, of tyranny, of good and evil, it's the same throughout history.
Wow, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And Phyllis was an absolute treasure, and we continue to reference her work. And Alex and I talk about Phyllis all the time, use her books. Kissinger on the Couch was one we were talking about recently, just a fantastic piece. And she really understood.
A commitment, not just a book.
Oh, I love that. A commitment, not just a book. I like that.
It is.
So in light of Phyllis, and she was one of the first in really the moral majority, one of the first big prominent ones to come out and endorse Donald Trump. Phyllis had a lot of insight into that. We see Trump continually becoming a topic of discussion. Now we're 8 years later, and Trump is still the guy we're talking about, and he's been indicted again. Ryan, I was looking at the Wink email that you guys send out, the What You Need to Know Phyllis Schlafly Eagles email. If you guys go to Phyllis Schlafly Eagles.com, you can sign up for that Wink email. It's a great resource that I use frequently to get the best compiled headlines, kind of the roundup of things conservatives need to be talking about, looking into. And today's Wink email was titled something along the lines of Trump Indictment the Musical, because it's become this kind of comical thing where here we go again. Trump is indicted once again. And we have to ask ourselves, is this the deep state coming out, getting a revenge mob-style gangster hit against Trump to take him out because he vowed to take down the kingmakers, the deep state? I want to play a clip for you, Ryan, and get your reaction to this. This is Chuck Schumer talking about the deep state or the intelligence community, the CIA, the FBI, Trump taking on these gangsters. And Chuck Schumer has a very ominous, creepy warning for Trump. Let's go to cut 1, and we'll be back.
Opportunity. So I was distraught right after the election, but I'm now actually invigorated by the challenge and our ability to succeed in this challenge.
Let me ask you, I don't know if you have seen this. I don't want to blindside you with this. This is the latest statement, latest tweet, as you were just saying. The president-elect's latest unsolicited pronouncement on the intelligence community. This was his tweet just a little while ago tonight. You see the scare quotes there. The intelligence briefing on so-called Russian hacking was delayed until Friday. Perhaps more time needed to build a case. Very strange. We're actually told, intelligence sources tell NBC News since this tweet has been posted, that actually this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really dumb to do this.
What do you think the intelligence community would do if they were motivated?
I don't know, but from what I am told, they are very upset with how he has treated them and talked about them. And we need the intelligence community. We don't know what's going on. Look at the Russian hacking. Without the intelligence community, we wouldn't have discovered it.
Do you think he has an agenda to try to dismantle parts of the intelligence community? I mean, this form of taunting hostility.
Whether you're a super liberal Democrat or a very conservative Republican, you should be against dismantling the intelligence community.
Senator Charles Schumer of New York.
Wow. 6 ways from Sunday, getting back at you. Even for a hard-nosed supposed businessman, he's being really dumb taking on the intelligence community. What do you think, Ryan? Is that an ominous warning saying, you know what, if you start talking about the deep state, sure, you can have your American talking points, but the second you start doing something about it, we are going to come and get you and hit you where it hurts. The law and the justice system, forget about it. We're going to come out and get you, Godfather style, in a mob-type legal hit because you came after what hurts us the most, the deep state, the intelligence agency. You think that's a fair take?
Well, first of all, just thank you for putting up that World Series of T-ball there. I haven't seen some softballs like that in a while, so it's good to be reminded. And you took, by the way, a minute ago, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to remind everyone you want some hardball conservative politics. Go to phyllisschlafly.com alongside the Liberty Sentinel website. phyllisschlafly.com. You can sign up. We do try to keep everything very brief and to the point. There's so many good places to follow. We don't want to take away from good people like our friends Alex Newman here, you all at the Sentinel Report. But as far as this goes, oh man, I think that, well, first of all, dismantling the intelligence community or anything that refers to themselves as a big amorphous blob of bureaucracy, it sounds good to me, and I don't think Trump quite went far enough. However, in those early days, I think that is something that we saw happen over and over in his presidency. He poked the beehive, the places you're not supposed to poke, the curtains you're not supposed to rip back. He went after a lot of those things and just went bull in a china shop. I think it's because he's an effective businessman, and he knew at the very beginning that the power of government in the administrative state, this deep state, bureaucratic, establishment power, whatever you want to call it, cloak and dagger is the way that they keep everyone fooled, by making sure there's no transparency, by making sure that people don't know what's really going on or see what's happening the way that it happens. And I think that he understood that. And that's why from the very beginning, he just came out swinging at all the places you're not supposed to. And obviously he ruffled some feathers. The syrupiness of Chuck Schumer and Rachel Maddow back and forth about how wonderful the intelligence community is and how he should be smarter than that. I would argue that's one of the single best things that he did out of a lot of good things, was he made the media completely lose their minds and just tear the curtain back themselves and show us who they really were. And the same thing with so many of what I would call the deep state or the administrative agencies that have just sucked into this unelected, unaccountable world of bureaucracy. He made the right people mad and they showed their face. They were insulted and offended, and good on him. So some of these things that we're seeing now, revenge or something else, or him being a continued threat, I think there's an argument to go down for all of these.
Yeah, absolutely. And Trump actually touched on this subject and the media's tactics to subvert the Biden administration and the truth that needs to be exposed on them and their corruption by using Trump as the latest thing to throw up. And it's always so coincidental when you see Biden or Hunter get exposed for something, and then within 24 hours, there's a big Trump story that breaks. We're going to cut to some commercials and some messages when we get back. I want to read Donald Trump's latest statement on what I just said, and we'll dive into this topic a little more when we get back from these messages.
You're watching Lindell TV.
Are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Are you looking for help? The Wellness Company has an answer in the form of our clean, pure, all-natural spike formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike formula includes the incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and iris sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the U.S., so you know that you can trust and rely on it if you're concerned about spike proteins. Buying American-made, natural ingredients of this quality separately will cost you over $100. Our spike formula is only $65.99. Get spike formula today by going to twc.health. Sentinel Report users use the code Newman at checkout for an additional discount. Go to twc.health, promo code Newman, and get peace of mind if you are concerned about spike protein.
My employees and I are excited to announce it's our 20th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with the most amazing cotton, 2-inch pipe gusset, comes in 4 custom loft levels, and it's machine washable and dryable.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. That's why we've been around for 20 years, because MyPillow works.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, only $19.98.
With my 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
Are you concerned about your child's education? Are you considering removing your children from the failing public schools? Greater Than I Ministries can help by giving you 15% off our Thinking Like a Christian Biblical Worldview video series and a free Home Educator's Kit as a bonus for your purchase. This powerful video series will thoroughly equip you and your family with the truth that you need to fight the battle of ideas warring against our families. And our free Home Educator's Kit will instantly connect you with the resources you need to take control of your child's education. Just go to gtimin.com and click the Buy Now button at the top. Choose the DVD or the streaming version. Then enter the promo code Newman at the checkout for your 15% discount. That's gtimin.com. Click the Buy Now button at the top, choose the format you wish, and enter the promo code Newman at the checkout to receive our free Home Educator's Kit and 15% off our Thinking Like a Christian Worldview video series. You'll be glad you did.
Here's the news, Dad.
Is it, son? Is it?
What about this one, Dad?
Nope. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days. There's just too much baloney out there. At the New American, they cut through the baloney and give me the truth.
Visit thenewamerican.com today. Use the promo code Newman to get $10 off the price of a print subscription.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Sentinel Report. I am your guest host for today's edition of the program, sitting in for Alex Newman, who is in South Carolina, in Myrtle Beach, speaking to the good folks there in the People's Republic, talking about the deep state and exposing the darkness of our times, but offering a bright message of hope. We're joined with Ryan Haidt, the Director of Communications for Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, talking about the news. Now, Ryan, Trump claims that Biden and his government gangsters indict him every time Biden gets exposed. Trump was speaking in South Carolina, actually, at the Republican Party's 56th annual dinner, and he said this: "Now, every time more Biden corruption is exposed, his henchmen indict me because they want to knock out the bad publicity. Whenever they have something big happen, they put out another indictment or a special indictment. It's called a cover-up, and what they do is illegal, and it's horrible," and very Trump. I spared the Trump impression, Ryan, but I was trying to act a little Trump-esque. But you're a media guy. You're in this communications business. What validity do you think there is to that?
I mean, I think it's the most valid thing that's happening in the media this year, that claim. When you see it, it's just patently obvious. It's almost like the old adage from George Bailey. You know, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Well, this time, every time, you know, Hunter does something illegal, Trump gets an indictment. That's pretty much what's happening. Every single time you look back, and I actually get the opportunity to talk about this sometimes when I'm given a platform to do a class on media or some sort of news-based journalism effort. Talk about the fact that almost every time there's something big that is just, this is what's splashed over and over and over and over again, there is almost always something else happening that we don't want you to see. That's been that way for years. Now Trump is just the whipping boy. So instead of talking about lost airlines or awful dentists killing Cecil the lion on a game preserve in Kenya, more ridiculous things, you wonder why they're in the news. Now they just, indict Trump again. So not only is it a media cover up, but it also gives government something to talk about. We talk about the narrative machine. That's our phrase for it here. If you watch Unauthorized Caucus, listen to the Pro America Report, our president's radio program, Ed Martin, you're going to hear us talk about the narrative machine, which we define as a very deadly combination of big tech big media and big government. This is big media, big government gone crazy, hog wild. They get to indict people for political purposes, and we get to crow about it in the media and make sure that something else we don't want to be heard stays buried. I think that that's the most obvious thing that we're seeing here. And for anyone on mainstream news, well, quote unquote mainstream news, or anyone else to tell you, oh, that doesn't happen, that person is not tuned into reality, because that's exactly what's happening. Trump's dead on correct. They're acting like thugs and gangsters, using the Justice Department simply to bully their political opponents and essentially do what they did, or what they claimed happened against them in 2016 and 2020. They are the election interferers. Let's make no mistake. That's what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would be your admonition to grassroots conservatives, everyday people, where they're outraged about the Trump indictment? And I'm guilty of this too, Ryan, is Trump gets indicted, and then all that conservatives talk about for the next week is the Trump indictment. And we kind of play into the game, because now what are we all talking about? The Trump indictment. What are we not talking about? Maybe the Devon Archer case, or the fact that Hunter did do business in Burisma, and Biden did know about it, and he did work with the Ukrainian prosecutor to get him fired that was going to look into Burisma. And people were coming to the White House many times, in surplus of 30 times, to meet with the Biden admin regarding Hunter's business dealings. So how do we deal with this? Because there's outrage about the Trump indictment that's valid, because that's a real thing, but there's also the Biden treasonous, I like to use the word treasonous because I think it is, treasonous scandal. We need to tackle both of them. What do conservatives do?
Well, first of all, I mean, we're in the right place right here. If you want to know what's happening and understand and be able to articulate it to other people, you need to find sources who are talking about what's really happening. That's why Tucker is such an important voice, to not fall into the trap of indictments, but to talk to the Devon Archers of the world. That's why the Liberty Sentinel is so important, why Phyllis Schlafly Eagles is so important, because we're not going to spend time sitting here responding to what we know is so obviously a distraction, a tactic to get us spun up over something else. We're going to be looking for what it is we're not supposed to see, and then we're going to be sharing that. We're going to be analyzing that, and that's incredibly important. People need to find those good sources. And frankly, in this day and age, the more conspiratorial, probably the better, because they are literally looking, the people like the Jack Posobics of the world over at, well, he's not with One America News anymore, with Human Events Daily. You look at folks like that, their first response to any major news story that comes out of the mainstream or the government sector is, yeah, okay, so what else? What am I not supposed to see? Well, maybe there's not anything you're not supposed to see, but if you ask that question in this day and age, you're on the right path. Find those sources, cling to them, and don't take everything at face value, but there you will at least find the information for you to consider. As far as what we do about it, man, that's a big one. First of all, this needs to be routed out from the ground up. You're going to talk about major election moves, not just the president. I'm talking about all the way down to your county central committee. We need massive change. But the only way that happens is if we, the people, if the voters, the people who wield the power of the citizen, actually understand what's happening, communicate it, replicate ourselves, grow more and more people who are willing to then do something about it. I mean, America's not too far gone. I have no doubt of that. I am hopeful that change is certainly possible. The question is there a will to do it? Is there the understanding and then the will amongst the American people? So for those of us who are tuned in, we need to really cling to and find and help to spread the message from those we know aren't, playing into the distraction, but are talking about and looking for the truth in all things.
Absolutely. With about 2 minutes left, Ryan, I'm going to give you the final 2 minutes. I want to pitch two things to you. One, you guys have a great event coming up, and when you're talking about it, we'll scroll through your site, and we've got a great flyer. Tell people about that, what they can do to get involved. You talked about grassroots, the importance of that. This is a good opportunity. Yep. And then also, we know this isn't just a political crisis, it's a spiritual crisis. And people need to get right with God because this is not just politics. Speak to those two things, and I appreciate you being here with us today, Ryan.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. And yeah, there is a great event coming up. Every year we've hosted it. This is the 52nd year for Eagle Council. So go to eaglecouncil.com. I promise you, not only will you hear from some of the greatest issue and thought leaders, you will connect with other people in this area. It's here in St. Louis, in the Midwest, September 15 through 17. Go to eaglecouncil.com. You're not going to have a better networking opportunity, a motivational and educational opportunity. Come on and join us, because Andrew, to your point, this is not just a political battle, a battle of the will of we the people versus they the powerful. This is a spiritual battle. This is a battle over truth itself, recognizing that there is truth that exists outside of our own whims and desires, the lie that's being fed to us, and then finding it, pursuing it, governing off of it, directing our families and civil society. That is incredibly important. That's the kind of stuff you're going to see from us. Go to phyllisschlafly.com and look through all the publications. That's what you're going to hear at Eagle Council as well. So we are about to announce a bunch of speakers. Go sign up for the email list. You're going to want to be there because in the next days, there's going to be some really exciting things. We have a lot of great things we're going to focus on next month here in St. Louis at Eagle Council.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. Really appreciate it. Please do, folks, go to phyllisschlafly.com, sign up for the newsletter, do all the things Ryan said. Also go to libertysentinel.org. I think these two organizations are incredibly powerful in getting out the Christian conservative message. If you're watching on Rumble, the Stone Zone is coming up next with Roger Stone. Great program. Don't want to miss it. And we will be back at the same time, same place with Alex tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and God bless you all.
You're watching Lindell TV.
Hi, I'm Joe Sweeney. I founded the Acervo Project in response to the growing epidemic of human trafficking and child exploitation. Classifying this as an epidemic is an understatement. Our investigation teams and cyber analysts are tracking child predators every day. We're making a difference, but we need your help. The average age of a trafficked child is just 14 years old. Will you join the Acervo Project team? Donate $14 a month to protect the next at-risk 14-year-old. Pledge your $14 a month at theacervoproject.org. That's ASSERVO.org.
Taken TV is making TV watchable again. Join us on the Active Kingdom Entertainment Network. Download Taken TV from your App Store now.